Morning, all. I had intended to do a video outside to start the day, which is why I'm wearing my Bruins jersey. I don't have any Bruins news on the board or anything, but hey, strange times and all. Uh, the problem I had was that it was too bright outside, and then it's a matter of trying to find exactly the right angle out front, and then in the back it was too noisy. So we're near a main road that on this side of the house you don't even notice, but on the other side you really do notice, and it's really difficult. I've done podcasts where you could clearly have heard the traffic in the background, so it makes it distracting. Where I'm trying to do a video and it's just truck after truck after truck, and I'm like, okay, so that's a lot of long haul trucks going by, and I've always liked trucks a lot, so it's hard not to look and oh hey, it's a Kenworth, oh that's a Peterbilt, and I start doing that, and then not much point. No, I'm not shooting videos where I talk about trucks. That's not the truck guy is not going to be a thing. Sorry. So let's get into the news I was going to discuss in outside because I wanted to discuss something outside because everybody's stuck inside. The KHL's canceled the playoffs. We kind of knew this was coming, and I think there are certain countries globally that have been slow to understand just how important it is that people stay at home and that we take care of what we have to right now. I know there's a lot of divisive opinions out there. I would say listen to health professionals, listen to doctors and specialists on this, because everything gets politicized all the time. That's just how it works now. It's about taking that curve and flattening it as much as possible. So the KHL's canceled the playoffs and the NHL has extended the isolation period for another 10 days. I believe it's April 6th now at the earliest. And this is kind of what goes on. So they tell you, all right, you're going to be staying in place for 2 weeks. And I think they know at the beginning it's going to be more than 2 weeks. They know that it's going to end up being, potentially a couple of months. That's the plan that we've had in this house is for 2 months, minimum 2 months. And so the NHL's extending their self-isolation period. One thought I had last night was, there are certain remote areas which still have hockey rinks. So rather than having any kind of an NHL playoff in an urban center where the odds of something happening to derail it would happen, far more likely to happen anyways, have it in some small town, northern Canada. It might be the best way to go about it. It's still not 100%, but again, I think if the NHL is going to avoid that same issue, they're going to have to get creative. So I'm not disagreeing with people who are saying, well, that's it, it's over. Because yes, the NHL season as we know it is done. They will not be able to bring it back and play it in front of fans, but they may be able to salvage something if they get really creative. It's going to have to be a really creative decision made by the NHL Board of Governors, the NHLPA. They're going to have to get together and come up with something really creative if they're going to make this work. KHL players, with the cancellation of their season, they're now free to sign NHL contracts as of May 1st. But those contracts, should they sign them, cannot include the season that's currently on hold. So the NHL is saying, we don't know what's going to happen with this season yet. So if you want to sign these guys, go for it. But it starts next year. And some of these players may very well want to hold out and wait until the NHL makes it official. So we'll see what happens. But May 1st, they're able to sign in the NHL. There are a few that have some interest. Reportedly, Ottawa's near the top of the list when it comes to one of them. But we'll see. We don't really know yet. So getting into some signings, and again, these are all entry level. Matthias Samuelsson has signed, or Matthias Samuelsson. I'm sure it's Matthias. Entry level contract with the Buffalo Sabres. He was a number 32 overall pick in 2018. The Minnesota Wild, they've signed Mitchell Chaffee. He's an NCAA signing, 22 years of age, undrafted. He comes out of UMass Amherst. So good signing there. And again, these are free players. All you're losing is a contract on your team. So that's one contract out of 50 that's signed. Now, Carolina made some headlines yesterday in a move that wouldn't have got headlines on any regular day in the NHL. They signed the Cotton brothers. So David Cotton, a 2015 draft pick, number 169 overall, played Boston College this year. 15 goals, 24 assists, 39 points for him. He signs a 2-year, $1.85 million contract. His brother, Jason Cotton, 25 years of age, undrafted, coming out of Sacred Heart University, 20 goals, 17 assists, 37 points. He gets a 1-year, $725,000 contract. I always like it when teams sign a sibling. They bring a sibling along, and I think it's a nice gesture. Even if one sibling is seen as having more upside than the other, signing both I think is nice. Where you have the contract space and whatnot. So good on Carolina for signing the Cotton brothers. And if the Cotton brothers ever make the NHL, that's going to be I think with the names the Cotton brothers, I think hockey's one option. I would think NASCAR would have been another one. Just throwing that out there. Cotton brothers. Baseball maybe, kind of, sorta. I can see Cotton brothers being talked about at a baseball. It sounds like a name that should be in sports. So it's not like I'm gonna be a lawyer. Your last name's Cotton. I don't think lawyer's gonna work out for you. I think sports. Well, I was also thinking architect. I don't know. There's a lot of Cotton architects. So maybe look at sports. So we'll see whether or not these guys end up playing for the Carolina Hurricanes in the near or distant future. Tanner Lozinski signs his entry-level contract with Philadelphia. 2016 draft pick, number 169 overall. So again, these are guys who are getting signed rather than the potential of losing them as UFA or going to redraft, that kind of thing. Dawson Pietro is an NCAA signing for Buffalo. So for Buffalo, they pick up another guy who may be ready to play right away. 24 years of age, so either he's ready now or he's not going to be, basically, is kind of the way that works. Western Michigan, 12 goals, 17 assists. He gets a 1-year, $750,000 contract. So again, there's really no risk to signing a guy to a $750K contract. That's basically league minimum. And again, all it costs you is just that one contract spot. Damian Giroux signs an entry-level contract with Minnesota. He's a 2018 number 155 overall pick out of Saginaw. He had 44 goals, 31 assists, 75 points this year. With the name Damian Giroux, he has two options. He can either make the NHL and go forward with his NHL dream, or he could be on Marvel or DC Comics as a villain. Damian Giroux, I would think those would be his options. I'm obviously kidding. It's been a slow couple of weeks, so hey, these things happen. And Adam Beckman. I'm like, it's not Beckman, is it? No, it's Beckman. Signs his entry-level contract with Minnesota as well. 2019 draft pick, number 75 overall, out of the Spokane Chiefs. 48 goals, 59 assists, 107 points. So Minnesota picks up a couple of their prospects and signs them to contracts, as well as picking up a guy out of the NCAA. Bill Guerin's doing his best to make sure that the younger side of the team is taken care of. And we've talked about Minnesota's prospects and whether or not Minnesota's been doing the rebuild thing right, or whether they need to do the rebuild thing, or whether they need to do what do they need to do. So Guerin's doing his best right now, working the phones. Raphael Lavoie signs his entry-level contract with the Edmonton Oilers. And I was trying to remember, I was like, did I talk about him in the last free agent signings? I know I talked about Connor Ingram signing with Nashville. I don't know that I talked about Lavoie. Or Lavoie. I worked with someone with that last name, so he pronounced it Lavoie. Or no, that's not right. No, the first letter was different, but still, the rest of the letters were all the same. And so they pronounced it Savoy. So it depends whether, and it's one of those things that I look at it and I go, all right, so it's Raphael Lavoie because he played for Chicoutimi in Halifax, so he's going to be French. It'll be Lavoie, and somebody will go, no, Lavoie. Okay, so 38 goals, 34 assists, 72 points, and he will be expected to not get a job right away, but being a second-round pick for the Oilers, be great for them if this forward became the next Yamamoto, so to speak. And isn't it funny how quickly we go from talking about Edmonton's prospect pool being suspect, and now we see Yamamoto come through. Tyler Benson, I thought, played well after his call-up this year as well. I know only 1 point in 7 games, but I thought he played well. and we'll see. You know, this may be another smart move for the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe things are turning around. But we won't know for at least another couple of years just how much things have turned around. Ken Holland is known for picking up some mid to late draft pick gems. Now, of course, this is only second round, so we'll see. But there you go. You guys are all caught up on today's excitement. Hope everybody's staying sane out there. And again, if you have a job that requires you to keep going, and you know, I saw yesterday somebody post that they work in garbage pickup, so that's still a thing. We have essential services that continue throughout all this, and essential businesses that have to stay open. And I know it's been a frustrating time. I can say that if we all do our part, it just makes it better. So to those of us that are able to do our part, you know, we do that. And to those that have to go out into the breach every day, you have my thoughts, and I hope, you know, that we can all stay safe in this time. I know I've encouraged my wife to take a bit of a break today. She was starting to get kind of sore and run down from putting together masks and surgical caps for local hospitals and just for people we know locally. So, and now she's starting to get a lot of requests from people, and she has to mail these out, and so she has to go to the post office and mail stuff out. So there's a lot of people doing this, and again, I know there are large sewing groups right now where people are being kind of put through this call to action to make these things and to help out. So, you know, to those that are doing your best to help, thank you. To those that are doing the helping, to those in the healthcare field and fields related to it, people working for the fire department, people working for the police department, people working in these essential services, you have my thanks. And I would hope that my videos provide you a break from all the craziness that's going on out there. So stay safe. Don't forget to wash your hands. And I do my best in my videos now to keep my hands away from my face as much as possible. Because while I've been isolated for over 2 weeks, so you know I know I'm clear, I want to make sure that the example that I'm providing to others out there is as positive as possible. So on that note, thank you guys so much for all your support. We will be doing a live stream today. I haven't come up with the exact time, but keep an eye on the channel. I'll be setting that up for later. So we'll be doing a channel-wide live stream today, and we plan to do that on Wednesdays. And for people wondering about like the NHL 20 playthroughs, that'll be on Saturdays. So the plan is to do that on Saturdays. I don't want to overdo it with the live streams, so I'm you know, keeping it to a couple of times a week. The third time a week is for Patreon. And again, to all of the people who support the channel on Patreon, thank you so much. It makes a huge difference right now with everything that's going on, and in all of this economic uncertainty. That makes a really big difference, and it does provide a lot of peace of mind for myself and for my family. So again, you know, this is my employment, and this is what provides for my family of 5. And, you know, there are some extended people as well that I'm trying to help out during this time. The other thing I would encourage as well is, I know we're all in different places, but I'm still trying to support businesses through shopping online here and there. I've really cut that back, obviously. But I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing my part to help people locally and to help out business locally as well where I can. Because, again, this is a tough time, and we'll get through it. I know we'll get through it, because as a society, we kind of sort of have to. So yeah, and keep in mind too, I'll throw this plug in there as well for the Entertainment Guy, which passed 12,200 subscribers yesterday. So that feels pretty good, and I do a news of the day video on there on TV, movies, and all that stuff. And just also throw in reading out of my book, which it does need editing. I know it needs editing. So when I'm reading it out loud to people on the Entertainment Guy channel, I kind of edit it as I read it. So that's something that I know needs to be done, and I would love to go through and re-edit all of those right now, but I'm doing my best to come up with video topics to distract us all from everything else. So thank you guys so much again. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through just tapping upon this video. numerous videos a day. That's the way it works. Because everything out there, enough to drive a normal person kind of crazy. Thank you guys so much again. I will talk to you very soon.